So it's a Sunday in the middle of September, don't know the date, and it's the second race in the Medway Cruising Club Burton Cup Series. I missed the first one, and I don't have a crew, so I'm doing it single-handed, which is going to be a bit awkward, because although the conditions are sort of peachy, I've got a feeling it could be a bit gusty, which is going to be hard work in a fleet of fully crewed boats. Don't know how many of us are going to be, but there's, well, 8 or 9 of us sailing around here. Whether they're all in the race or not, I don't know. Anyway, it's England, so of course it's gloomy and grey, but it's not that cold, and should be good sail.
So as I do when I do these films, I thought we'd start with the start. Unfortunately, this one, although not bad, wasn't particularly good either. The tide was going out, which was pushing us towards the line, and I'd already made the conscious decision to try and stay out of the pack and keep clear air. But the two meant I headed right over to the south shore, the club side of the line, and although I was on the line at the start, I was out of the tide and pretty much out of the wind. Not really what I wanted to do.
Well, it's a pretty awful start really. Misjudged my time and distance, was keen on keeping clear air, and I ended up going higher than I wanted to, and that pushed me out the tide. And I went higher than I wanted to as well because I misjudged my time and distance, so you know. Anyway, everyone actually made a good start. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us on the line I think, and pretty much everyone was on the line, which is good. And the tide's going out, which made that start trickier than perhaps it might normally be. So. Anyway, do a bit of housekeeping now because the boat's a mess, because I put the jib up at the last minute and I've got ropes everywhere. The problem with this course is it's not really the course's fault, it's just the weather. It's a southerly, which means it's going to be a lot of reaching and fetching, which means you're going to want the kite up and down with a good crew, sort of working it in the puffs and stuff, of course, which I don't have. So I can see me hardly flying the kite at all really, because I'll probably get in more trouble with it than it's worth, but we'll see.
Getting pushed up here. It's a bit of a pain because I'm not going to bring the kite up. There you go, it's racing. Soonest, we're reefing, 2 sails, mind its own business, getting away from everyone over there.
My plan on keeping clear air is starting to pay, because with these 2 big spinnaker boats up, at least they're underneath me. That's about the only part of the plan that's going to pay, I think. Although we've got good pressure at the moment and we're stretching away, so holding my own on them at the moment. I guess what I should do is drag the Cove Zero out. Don't know, am I that keen? The trouble is, on a reach, trying to drop a spinnaker on a reach, which is what this will end up being, it's just hard work on your own because it just gets blown out the side. When you're on a run, you can hide the spinnaker behind the main, and it's all much more civilised. On a reach with the wind blowing around the main, it becomes a real effort, and on your own, you know, talking myself out of this, aren't I? Lightweight. To be honest, I don't think I should be such a wuss. We're going to go down between 26 and 23 here, which is much more of a run. I could get the spinnaker up there, as long as I can hold it on the reach and these guys aren't struggling. I can then drop it maybe before we get to 13, before they head to Black Stakes. That'll make it easy. I should be able to do that. Let's get ourselves organised. So I've got the kite up, and I don't know if you can see underneath me. I'm kind of still with them. I lost a little bit of ground getting it up like you do, and because they had theirs up earlier, they've stretched their legs a bit. But at the moment, there's only 10 knots of wind, so with the tide and the apparent, it's only like 5 knots of apparent. It's actually easy. It's lulling me into a false sense of security, but it's definitely the right thing to do because it's pulling us along nicely. Now, and the good and the bad about this race is they've set a really nice long course. It's not out the river, but it's right down to the mouth of the river, back up a bit, back down to the mouth of the river, then back up, and then lots of buoys in between, which is great, except part of the reason I'm on my own is Hannah's not very well. And Izzy's had a sleepover last night and has got a friend round, so she's probably not going to thank me for being out of the house all day. So we'll see how it goes. If we fly down here in no time and it's all looking good, I'll keep going, but if it looks like it's going to be a long day, I might have to cut this short. One trouble with filming and sailing is especially with the spinnaker up, is you can't stop for a minute. As someone on their YouTube channel said, perhaps I should get a special dispensation for filming, maybe an extra point off for every minute of film I film or something. Brakes loose. Anyway, it's now a proper beam reach, or the apparent brings it onto a beam reach, and it's as tight as I want to go with this kite. And of course, we're all hugging this south shore, stay as high as we can, because we've got to get around 15 down there, and we don't really want to drop it on the reach to only have to put it up again to get the next leg when we turn left.
The line, up the line, Kellaway, over. Kellaway,
we're going all right
up
though.
The line. Yeah, that's fine.
My
Kellaway,
problem will be,
line,
if I do catch up with Roger and Julie on Sulis, is Roger won't be overly aggressive, but he will luff me. Which means I've got to somehow get underneath it, but it's a 36-foot boat or something with a lot of sail, so even though he hasn't got his spinnaker up, it's going to be hard getting underneath him, so I might be pinned in my position here. Unless I can sneak up on him and he doesn't notice.
So Sulis did stay in front of me all the way down this reach, but when we got to 15, they chose to take a little bit more of the tide and head out into the river. So I turned a bit sharper and took the rum line straight to the next mark, giving me a lane in which I might be able to get past them.
Unfortunately, I've just got past Roger and Julie, and now they're sailing right behind me and taking all my wind. Not much I can do about it though. So this is the run down to buoy 13, which has proven to be a dead run. And then we're going to go around 13 and head upriver. I'll probably drop the spinnaker here just to make it easy. I might end up paying for that. Actually, maybe I won't, because then when we get around Blackstakes, it'll be more of a run to North Kent. Oh, let's just be brave and hang on to it. So, fortunately, so far, the gusts haven't really come. We've had the sort of 12-14 knots that's forecast, which is peachy. There's meant to be gusts of like 20, which I think is probably why Sulius had a reefing at the start, just to play it safe. But the gusts haven't really appeared, so maybe I will be brave and just head up round here. We'll see. One thing's for sure, even if it doesn't work out, I've got plenty of time and space to sort the mess out, so should be okay.
So that's Reefer X coming up to 13. Then we get Zephyros in second. Then it's me and Seahorse, and then Sulis, who are only just there. And although that's technically behind, I suspect by the time we get to 13, we'll be right back next to each other again.
It's all a bit of a juggling act going around the mark like that from a run to a reach, because you've got to play 2 sheets, and I also need to get the pole up and down really. So anyway, it's all worked out all right.
It's actually not so easy filming, but the lead boat, I don't know if you can make it out, I can hardly see it on the screen. Oh, there it is, is that it? He's Reefer X with a white spinnaker, trying to get over the top of these moored barges, I guess to miss the dirty wind. Zephyros in second is going underneath them, which is probably the route I'm going to take. I'm still hanging on to third. It's quite tight, but the wind isn't actually that bad, so although it's a bit awkward keeping it flying, it's not really a struggle to keep the boat upright. And then I've got a little bit of a gap on Sulis. We're hanging on in there, but this of course doesn't hurt them so much. It's a bit more of a reach, and without the spinnaker I don't know I'm gaining that much.
But then once we get round Blackstakes, we're bearing away more on the run again, so it'll definitely pay to keep the kite up if I can, because getting it up and down is not going to be easy, so or not on the reach. But see, it's good. Because this is about as close to the wind as I ever want to get, but I don't want to be too close to barges, so do I go out in the river and hope I can squeeze up even more, or do I stay closer to the barges, get all the dirty wind and all the flapping that goes with it? I think I am just going to hold my line. Zephyros has gone through this and didn't look too bad, so I think I'll just hold this line and hope it comes good. I think I'd rather know I can make the mark than necessarily sail the fastest course. I think Sulis is coming back into me a bit. It suits on this leg and it's a big boat, so that'll make it even more complicated when I get to Blackstakes if I'm struggling with the spinnaker, so I'll hold this leg. I can see the buoy now, it's only one of these little yellow 25-gallon cans or whatever. Maybe it's 50 gallon. Anyway, when you're a mile from it, it's not very big. It's another run now to North Kent, then it's a drop, and then we've got South Kent Blackstakes, which is the yellow can I've just been round, back to North Kent, South Kent Blackstakes, then it's Stangate Spit, 12, 14 West, and so on. So I've got to do this little triangle here twice effectively, and then head home. It's actually not going too bad. We got down here in an hour, so it's not that bad, and it's a lovely sail. It's good. It's been just 12 knots kind of thing, and just nice. Still an awkward angle, but you know, you can't blame the race officer for that. And this little triangle at least gives us a proper beat, so that's good. So that's Reefer. Just gone round North Kent, heading towards South Kent, which is that red can there. Shipping mark. Zephyros has just gone round it, North Kent, which is up there. I'm next. And then Sulis is hanging on to me over there. So I've got the kite down in plenty of time because I've still got the last of the tide going out, or at least no tide pushing against me. And I've got Sulis just there. I've got a bit of space, there's no point struggling. And this is going to be hard enough on its own anyway. So anyway. My jib flapping around has inverted itself. There's battens in it because it's a small jib, so I can't sheet it in. I'll have to go just get clear of South Kent, then tack just to unwrap it, and then go from there. It's a pain. To add insult to injury, I've just been sailing 20 degrees low because I'm not looking at the jib and I'm flustered. Or rather, I was looking at the jib and I'm flustered. Oh well, no race is a good race, but it's only one small mistake. It hasn't cost me that much. The leaders aren't that far ahead. This tack's irritating, but it's not the end of the world. It is, let me check. Yeah, it's basically like 10 minutes to low water, so there can't be much tide.
Okay, so for those that don't follow what's going on, what's happened is while the jib was loose, it's folded forwards around the forestay. If you don't have battens, you just sheet hard on the jib and it pops back round the right way. But when you've got battens, you'd have to fold those battens around to windward to sort out the problem. Had I been thinking straight, I'd have already known that a tack wasn't going to work, because of course that just pushes the battens further around the wrong way of the jib. You really need to jibe and then it all flops itself out. But I do figure that out in the end. Although all of you that are laughing at the screen at the moment can see that I didn't make the best of jobs of it. It took me a while to sort out the mess.
Okay, what a pain. It didn't come out on a tack, so I went to bear away and it popped, and then Sulis was coming at me, which complicated things more than somewhat. So I jibed round just to make sure I was safe, but now I'm not in the right place, so let's just sort myself out. Sort myself out, tack, and get going. Okay, that's quite unfortunate. I just tacked because I needed to sort the jib out and get going. As it happens, I'm right on the lay line. So soon as it's tacked on top of me.
You know how some days things just don't go your way? This is clearly one of them. Not only is Sulis tacked on top of me, but I've not only got the bad air of the boat on top of me, but they're putting a reef in. So I've got the bad air of flapping mainsail as well.
Sulis has just put its reef back in. Unfortunately, it's sitting right on top of me. Tactically, I don't really have many options because I am on the lay line where I don't want to be. Well, I didn't want to necessarily be, but I ended up being. And I really ought to concentrate on sailing. I'm going to put this down. North Kent, and I should really put the spinnaker up, but the whole leg's only 5 minutes long perhaps, so if I get the spinnaker up it'll only be drawing for 2 or 3 minutes of that at most with the faffing around that before and after. Then I'll lose time with the faffing around. Yeah, I've talked myself out of it, and the jib naturally, I just came around the mark jibed because I was getting ready for putting the spinnaker up. The jib naturally goose winged itself. It's looking good. Given the pickle I got myself in with the battens on the jib folding around the forestay, I'm going to just stick with this, I think. As it happens, Zephyros didn't fly their spinnaker. I don't think they like packing and unpacking it or whatever. Reefer did, but they had a wine glass when it went up, so they'll have lost as much as they gained. Sulis isn't, so as much as I should be doing it, I don't think I'm going to lose that much, you know, given what everyone else has done. So anyway, that's Sulis goose swinging as well. Zephyros, hang on here. Zephyros is that one there, which has been goose winged all the way down here as well, so I haven't lost out. And Reefer is the one going to one on starboard over there. And I'm trying to film up the front of the boat, and the jib isn't goose winging anymore. I'm pinned. It's not good. Flick back sail. Oh, there we go. Better get back to the cockpit. Okay, I should be sailing really, but I'll hang on I'll do a little bit of filming. We've now got kind of 14 knots of wind, which with the tide in your apparent puts your apparent well up over 20 knots. So Sulis' reef doesn't look so silly now, and I've got a gunnel in the water and fighting the boat a bit. But as soon as I get around Black Stakes, we bear off more of the fetch, and the extra sail is going to pay again then. So I'm going to hang on to it. There is no more downwind, so a reef wouldn't hurt necessarily, but you know, you're always faster if you can keep it on. when you sail dinghies, you always trim the boat for the light wind stuff on the basis you can work it on the strong wind stuff. That doesn't always pay in a yacht, but you know, it's still a sound idea.
As you can probably tell, there's still a lot of this race yet to go, but I'm going to cut it a bit shorter now. There wasn't so much to film because the boats had all spread out a bit, and because the apparent wind was up in the 20 knot somethings, the wind noise on the mic, even with the dead cat on it, was quite a lot. And of course, the boat's on its ear a lot of the time, so it's not even that easy walking around filming things. And really, I had to work the boat in the puffs. It was a particularly shifty, gusty day. So before I go, one final thing. Regular viewers will have noted that I haven't really put any music on this one. Could you let us know in the comments, do you like it that way? Because you get to hear and feel and sense what's going on? Or is there only so much footage of boats going through the water you can watch and a bit of music breaks it up? We kind of like the music, but I do get comments about cutting that out, so let us know what you think.
So that was it. That was good fun, although hard work. I did pay the price for not having enough people on board. I needed to wait on the rail because the wind did fill in. The 12 to 18 knots or whatever I saw was pretty accurate in the end, although we didn't get much of that going downwind. Coming upwind, the apparent brought it up in the 20s, and with a gust into 18 or so, we had the apparent wind was in the mid 20s, so it was a bit of a battle. And I lost out on the last bit. It's got particularly light and fluky. I'm sure it was the same for everyone else, but again, short-handed, it's hard to deal with it. You end up kind of setting the jib, trying to steer to it, but you're steering such huge angles that inevitably the jib is just incorrectly set half the time. Anyway, that was good.